Today is exciting. Test driving a Rivian. I come into the house. This is my experience with the first mile. Love it. Wyatt, how's it going? How you doing? Everybody's here. How you doing? I'm Fraser.
Hi, I'm Landon.
Landon, nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Do you mind if I film?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Mind if I film?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited to see it.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah, so obviously it's not the SUV. I mean, we're going to be
Right.
rolling that out at the end of the month.
Right.
But essentially, the biggest difference. Hi there, how are you?
How are you? I'm
Thanks for
Corbin.
having
Yeah,
me.
that's my wife Corbin.
Thanks for having me, Landon.
Nice
Pleasure
to meet you, Landon.
Yeah, so essentially, you know, everything from the mid-cabin forward is going to be the exact same.
Right.
Internal specs and all that good stuff as the SUV itself, just from mid-cabin back. Obviously, you're not going to have a truck bed.
Yeah.
You're just going to get a full extra row of seats, so it's a full 7-seater. Both that middle and third row is actually on a rail track, so they can completely move forward and backward for more leg room, and also completely flush straight down, so you can have that full storage capacity in the back.
Wow.
You got the whole clan here. How many you got?
We have 4 kids.
Awesome.
One more inside.
Sweet.
She says 5.
You start summer break already?
Me.
Yes, sir. Dude, awesome. Yeah. That's just good. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You all Southern hospitality. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's what I like to hear. Good deal. Yeah. So housekeeping. All I need from you is, since you're going to be driving with me today, I just got to see your license for battery purposes, and then I'll have you sign a quick liability waiver that also seconds as a media release. So
Just kidding.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go for it. There's actually, you pressed right into it. If you want to press right
is
into
that
it.
flashlight?
Yep. And then that'll pop straight out.
Whoa.
What?
This has one of the batteries from the actual engine side,
Exactly.
right?
Yep, yep. So essentially, when they created that battery module, the modules, the batteries, it came out to be 7,776. And like my OCD brain, I love the lottery, so I wanted all 4 7s, and that's that final piece right there.
Nice.
Perfect.
Now, what are these? What are these here? Are they drain plugs? What is that there? I just happened to notice.
So on the side, that's actually just an interlock for the door.
Oh, okay.
You do have a child safety lock feature.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's a child safety lock feature right into the door. So, you know, with electric vehicles, instead of selling our kidney at Exxon at the pumps, we're usually plugging up overnight. We're actually going to be doing a lot of that up front and here. What I'll have you do actually is run your fingers right along these lines right here in the fascia. That's going to bring our charge port door open. Essentially, that's where you're going to be plugging up with that level 2 overnight. If you have a home charger, I always recommend getting one installed by your local electrician. You can buy a charger through us.
Where are you all at Willow Lawn?
Okay, so the other side, you know where that Krispy Kreme is?
Yeah.
If you go around the corner over by the hospital, we're off of Dabney Road.
Okay.
So you pass that Wawa that's over there before you get on the 64.
Right.
Take that right. We're literally right off there.
Okay,
so,
back in the industrial area back there.
Yeah, so we would also essentially be doing all your service needs that you would actually need to come up in the future. Obviously, with you know, electric vehicles, we don't have any clicking and clacking in the front trunk. So we can actually have a bunch of extra storage space up front.
Yeah.
Just to showcase keys for you, you can actually hold on to those for right now. Key fob, wristband, 2 NFC cards, and your mobile device is also made a key once you actually take ownership. Okay. This is essential.
Take a little nap in
This is
there.
a great stress test just to get the kids out. I love that he's doing this. It's a perfect front storage casket for you, buddy.
You can ride to the river just like that.
Looking at the front trunk, only fluids you ever got to worry about are washer fluids. No coolant, no brake fluid. No oil changes ever again, which is great. There's actually more storage underneath here. If we actually fold over this lid, these magnets actually compress to the back here. So you got a little bit more space on the bottom. In this front trunk storage, this is the exact same as the SUV. You have a built-in drain plug. So up front here, you could essentially fill it up with ice and make it a giant cooler with, you know, Gatorade and all that good stuff for front tailgate central. Throw-ins that come standard, doesn't matter what the trim is. You get a portable charging adapter for that level 2 and level 1 need, just in case you're in a red alert situation. Right. This cable is over 18 feet long, so it's pretty versatile in terms of where you actually need to like charge from home and stuff like that. Yeah, feel that? Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
It would actually take a quick 30-second recording of any motion that's detected around the vehicle, so that you have a digital paper trail of anybody that might be lurking around your vehicle and stuff like that. It doesn't go to the Matrix man in the chair or like some cloud in the sky question.
And then do those record when you're driving too, or is it just security?
It's not dash cam, so it's only security when you're away from the vehicle.
Okay.
So it doesn't do dash cam stuff. Hopefully we're gonna be able to add dash cam soon, which would be awesome. Like, are you a gamer at all?
Sure, yeah.
Our infotainment system is actually built with the Unreal Engine from the ground up.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
So it actually has like the functionality to be able to add a bunch of different applications and stuff over time. So hopefully we will be able to, you know, add stuff like that. The back, looking in the back seat.
The smaller rims but bigger tire? setup?
This is actually, so these are the 20s. These are the all-terrains.
Right.
Essentially,
that's what I ordered.
Moving from the 20s, these are the most rugged. These are the coolest looking ones. These are going to keep your suspension softest too. I mean, also essentially with driving around downtown Richmond, these are the best ones to go with. We got a built-in storage tunnel.
Oh, look at that, Henry.
Storage tunnel. This is actually safe to stand on. So I usually showcase it. I'm about like 210, 215 on a good day, and we have a lot of function for like adventure accessories and stuff like that. You can easily get up.
You're trusting me. That's like 300 pounds on there now. So
you're good. Obviously, don't use it as a diving board.
Yeah.
But it works great, and it's simple, and you know, if you're a working man, easy to put your boots up on.
Yeah.
I like how user-friendly most of the adventure accessories are. And then each door houses something different. So that was that hose for that built-in air compressor.
Okay.
In the truck bed itself. Obviously, with the SUV, you're not going to be getting this
tunnel,
storage tunnel.
I don't know about the rest of your sales department, but I would give my right arm if you all would let me mom scout one of these. Come in with a bunch of like.
Oh my gosh.
Like a bunch of organizers and stuff, and show how I would do this with a bunch of kids. Yeah. 4 of them.
I'd love that. I like to just showcase the tailgate because there is still a tailgate with the SUV itself, so it's super easy to get groceries in and out. The top part will also open up as well. You're getting a little extra height clearance, not much, it's subtle. You probably wouldn't even be able to notice it if the truck went completely flush and over. But you do get a little extra head height in the back row. But essentially it still comes with, actually if you want to tap this button for me, right here. There's still an air compressor in the back left of the trunk for the SUV as well. And you're also still gonna get an extra storage space in this area. It's not gonna be weather lined like the back of a truck bed, but you're still gonna have an extra storage space for your spare tire, your first aid kit, and that hose for that built-in air compressor. That's it for a lot of the exterior bells and whistles.
And it tows all the big things.
It tows all the big things, so that's a great transition. Some people actually forget because it's hidden, but our hitch for towing is actually hidden underneath the license plate itself.
Oh, wow.
This entire piece actually pops straight out. You can unscrew it with a Phillips head. It's just 2 plastic inserts.
Okay, so you have to have a tool to get.
Yeah. So it's just 2 Phillips heads that you can unscrew right down here on the bottom. Okay. This hitch actually extends outward, so it's easier to connect, you know, your trailer or anything like that.
Right.
And then you go into towing mode. Cameras can stay on at all periods of time, even while you're in transit, so it's super easy to take a look at anything that you might have. Cool. Including payload in the back.
Well, I know you're sitting with Henry, but
whatever's gonna make him the most comfy.
Yeah. Right there.
HVAC on for you.
You good? Okay.
So people in the middle seat, from that middle console right there, they can actually, it's all touch control. They can actually control their HVAC, their interior lights. And then people behind the captain and the co-pilot, they actually get heated seats in the middle row. You can showcase, you
can see up in the sky, right, Gabe?
With the vehicle, and you can adjust them from your application. So essentially, you know, you and Jessica are gonna have.
But I think this car is more better than
way that you want your side
the car that we already got, right?
Better take a seat. Right on. We'll take this out and about, and we got lucky with this day. It's beautiful. So
oh man, it is.
We'll take her out. We'll have a good time. So my father is 6'8". Mom is 5'2". I got the mean in the calculator.
Right, I like it.
So it was interesting in trial by fire. He's not a pre-order holder, but I finessed him in the middle of some appointments down at Chesapeake one day. So he was able to fit into the truck. So we have a full stress test of that. Thankfully, you're looking good. Lumbar sports wheel on this left side, very familiar if you need to adjust that at all. You'll notice when you do that profile screen comes up. That is essentially going to say your name once you take ownership. And you can actually remember those adjustments on the fly, so it'll always know what your latest one was. Just to get you nice and comfortable with everything up front. This is our display screen, not a touch screen. It's just for visibility to keep us up and on the road. It'll give us a visual representation of just about everything that we're doing while driving, which is great. Yeah. If you want to adjust the steering wheel at all, what we'll actually have you do is tap on steering wheel for me real quick. That'll bring up a visual cue that you can actually use the scrolly wheels on your wheel to actually adjust the orientation in and out, up and down, all that good stuff. That was how my pops was able to get us.
There we go. There we go.
All right, that's looking good for you. What we'll do next is how are the mirrors looking? Mirrors looking solid?
Need to go out. So here?
Yeah. So right is right. And then you can go in and out with those buttons. So you're very user friendly. You found it very quickly.
Yeah. So I'll get.
Watch out for your leg. I'm gonna close the door for you and then join you on the co-pilot side.
Honk the horn for me real fast. I just want to hear that.
Solid horn.
We're locked. Notice when we lock the car, those handlebars will flush in flat. Starting off with our drive stock is going to be on our right side. That's how we're going to be able to change drive shifts. It's not going to be a shift crank. It's actually just a toggle, so it's very subtle in its gesture.
Turn down, and looks like park is to me.
Yeah, so park's actually going to be that silver button right there.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
Yep, exactly. That left stock is going to be your turn signal, automatic lights and wipers. You won't need the ladder too on a day like today.
Right.
All the visibility looking good for you?
Yeah, great.
Just to showcase, our cameras can pretty much be on at all times. We have a bird's eye view camera.
Look at that.
Front view behind us, and then we also have side fascia cameras as well for parallel parking and blind spot awareness.
Can you turn those on while you're driving too?
Yep.
So I look at my trailer in the back.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah. So they're just on right now, which is awesome. If it's a little toasty in here, you can actually tap on 68 for me real quick. That'll bring up our HVAC screen. Essentially, feel free to touch and play around with that. You can bring a direct flow of current to wherever you want it to go.
Oh,
so you notice
that's awesome.
That's
change and
cool.
move it on the fly. It's pretty great.
Are there vents in the back too?
Vents are in the back too, so you actually tap on rear for me.
Oh, rear. Okay.
We got vents in the middle console. We also have vents down here below our seats. Usually the air is so powerful that I usually bump my fans up on the side, and it actually brings air to the back of the cabin.
Nice.
When we set the air temperature up front, it actually extends to the back. So they can't completely change their temperature in the middle.
Right.
But because, you know, it's such a fast vectoring system, we actually don't need it to be too specific. You're the captain, so you get a heated steering wheel, heated seats, and if you notice that seat was pretty cool to the touch.
Yeah, that's the first thing I turned
Ventilated
on.
seats are perfect in the summertime.
Yeah.
They're essential in this muggy Virginia weather. And then in the rear, we can control their heated seats, their vents, and we can lock the kids out of the back if we need to.
Okay.
Which is great. So I'll go over a couple more things as we take it out on the road.
All right.
Feel free to, once you apply pressure to the brake, you'll notice that it went ready across the screen. Okay. That's how we bring responsiveness back to the vehicle if it's been idle for a while.
All right.
But essentially, you're already good, you're in drive. If you let go of the brake right now, you notice it won't coast forwards.
Right.
Whenever we come to a complete stop, it's actually going to go into a minor E-hold. So if we were at a sharp incline or decline, we won't coast forwards or backwards, even if we're in drive or reverse.
Sure. Okay.
So now we won't propel forward until you apply pressure.
I put pressure on.
Yep, and we're good to go.
All right. So that's actually a brake, because I felt it release.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. So what I tell you, I really want to experience is the self-driving too.
Okay. Yeah. So let's get it on the interstate, because usually self-driving only works great on major interstates and highways. Which I will switch your drive mode on the fly. Right now we are already in an eco mode. I usually like to show up to my appointments in an eco mode because it allows us to lower our ride height the furthest down. Right. So for the 5-foot nothings, it's easier to get into the truck. What I'll actually do is put us in all-purpose. We can pretty much switch our driving modes on the fly. It will lock us out of certain ones if we're going 80 miles plus. And that's just for safety, obviously. Right. But so in this all-purpose mode, we're gonna keep a standard ride height. Our suspension is soft, but we have the full extent of our torque and horsepower.
Wow.
So it's as responsive as we want it to be. You'll notice that regen braking.
Yeah, right.
It's a little invasive on the foot at first. It can actually be higher and more obtrusive. I like to keep it in its standard for right now. It's very much 1-foot driving. Right. Now, if you know how to feather your foot and finesse it, like you were driving a golf cart, it's something that's very, familiar, something that's easy to finesse with people. Some people aren't coming to an EV at all, so it's a little bit different. This is my first EV ever, so it was a little herky-jerky for me at first, but then I started to get used to it pretty much the second time.
So how do you set cruise control?
So you can go cruise control at any moment in time by toggling down on the drive stalk one time. Okay. That's gonna lock you at your cruising speed. You'll notice it up here. You'll also notice that car ahead of you is gonna shine blue. If you were to accelerate a little bit too close to it, you would start to decelerate.
So it has adaptive cruise.
Adaptive cruise. Yep. You can actually set that length sensor. So with the right scrolly wheel on your steering wheel on the right side, if you roll it back towards you, you can have that meter.
Lines,
yeah, you can have it as forward facing as you want it to be.
Nice big display.
Yeah, I always like to make note of, obviously, I usually keep it on the navigational screen at all times. It's built from the ground up with Apple Maps. But to alleviate charging anxiety, we have most of the electric network already on it. So let's say, we're going on a road trip and we need to find somewhere to charge. Right. We can look up charging based on speed, based on network, and availability. So that way you hopefully never have an excuse to ever really run out of battery. Your mobile device usually charges pretty well from it being in a landscape position.
Does it work through cases, this one, or is it?
It works pretty well through cases. I think it depends on if it's like a plastic or like more of like a composite.
It doesn't like that.
And
Oh, wait,
there we
there it
go.
goes.
Yeah, usually it takes a second.
The one in the Suburban doesn't do it, man. That's
sweet.
awesome.
Yeah, nice. That's perfect. And I usually leave it there. I forget my phone's there.
Nice. I have not touched the brake once since we left the house.
That's my favorite quote. I usually get that on just about every drive. I mean, obviously, I'm not like a full proponent in that phrasing. Like,
right. You know, 4 kids, we have to have such SUVs.
Yeah. So you'll notice that the insignia is up and down. So what we can do is toggle down 2 times. So do 1, 2. Perfect. Now we're locked in. It's steering for you.
All right.
It's keeping you flushing in your lane. It's setting your cruising speed, and it's also letting you know that a merge ramp is
right
coming
on.
up.
That's cool.
If you actually just let go for a while and don't touch it, it will give you a quick notification to be like, bring responsiveness to the wheel. You don't have to jostle it or be too aggressive with it. It's actually pretty sensitive. So this is the first warning. First warning's like that. The second one is going to be more of like an audible cue.
All right.
And all you have to do is pinch it, and it knows you're still there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very subtle. It's very responsive.
Just a touch to it. Don't have to change.
Yep.
Where you are. So we're actually 65 on this road, so we'll speed it up. So.
Perfect. I like how subtle it is. It's very, and it's easy to get out of too. So let's say you wanted to get out of this mode. If you had to make an adjustment on the fly,
right?
All you have to do is lift up once. You're out of it. Now you're back in control. Yep.
All right. So
and then it's as easy as going right back into it. You have to make sure you're super flush in between both lanes. But then.
So there's cruise control.
Yep.
And that's
perfect. Now you're locked in.
So to change lanes, can you just turn on the turn signal, or do you have to manually?
It won't lane change for you.
Okay.
At all. And I know that it has the technology to be able to allow it to do so. We just don't have it yet.
Right.
And I kind of.
How much room do you have back there, Gates?
That's quite nice.
Yeah.
How are we feeling? Nice ride feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the soft ride.
This is a soft suspension. Once we're out of, we can't change most of our modes while we're in cruise control or driving plus.
So
but essentially, if we just lift up, we get out. We can change most of this stuff on the fly because it's always a vibe.
There we go. So we got slowing down traffic.
Yeah,
so
we're good.
slowing down.
Yep. Like it's nothing.
Nice.
And I appreciate how adaptive it is, and it doesn't feel like we're coming to a complete stop. We're kind of still moving. We're still going, 50
and
something.
that adaptive is adjustable.
We can roll it back.
Roll it.
If we want it to be a little more forward facing instead of foreshadowing. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. So I've noticed that like when a song changes or something, it pops up over here.
Yep. So you can actually adjust the volume.
Oh, there we go.
The volume on the left scrolly wheel, and then you can also change tracks with the buttons on the left side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So everything driving is over here on the right side. Left side is audio.
Yes, sir.
So the sunroof is a solid sunroof, no
solid
adjustment.
glass, non-retractable, but it is UV protected. So even on a day like today, it feels nice and cool to the touch.
All right, let's get around this guy. Holy cow!
So you notice you can kick back. Very easy to adjust, but that's the extent. That's like King's Dominion.
Made Gates nervous.
Yeah,
All right,
nice. How'd that feel though? How'd the ride feel in the back?
What do you think?
Yeah,
you like
how'd it feel, huh? Put your Crocs into sports mode, huh?
Oh, yeah. How about tank turn?
speed.
Is that enabled? Yep.
No tank turn.
No.
No tank turn. They that was a pipe dream. I think they did it to kind of to increase engagement and interest at one point in time.
Right.
But then because there's no practical function for it, I think they ended up just nixing it.
I gotcha.
Same thing with the retractable roof. I think same thing as tank turn. At one point in time, I think they were leaning towards it, and then now it's just a pipe dream.
What have you heard about delivery dates for the SUV?
So for the SUV, I mean, it's starting literally as soon as the end of this month.
End of this month, okay.
And then hopefully we're gonna start. Hopefully I'm gonna get my first physical one to actually bring out to people.
Awesome.
And do test drives with.
I can't wait to see that when it comes in. Will there be another round of like test drives or come see it at the shop kind of thing?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to coming back out to people that are willing to.
Yeah.
Especially if they have a little bit longer of a wait time between now and delivery date.
Yeah.
Especially because usually most people have been okay with me arriving with the truck, even though they got the SUV, because the internal specs and ride feel is essentially the exact same thing.
Right.
You just can't really see the capacity in the third row.
So is the air suspension not just ride height, it's leveling
towing mode, it'll start to adjust for that.
Okay. And then what is capacity? 7,500, 8,000, or something like that?
For a towing capacity?
Yes.
Full towing capacity with the truck is 11,000 pounds.
11,000?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, because I've got a boat that's 9,500. It takes a little getting used to. I'm getting used to feathering the
You got
pedal
it
a little
now.
bit.
Nah, you from start to finish definitely improved. So I'm gonna give you the benefit. Woo!
Holy cow.
That's the Hoover Dam. The wind turbine.
That's everything going at it.
It doesn't get old. It really does not get old.
It does not.
That's your serotonin for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between getting somewhere or not, right?
Right. So in your experience driving this thing, and obviously people stomping on it like I am,
Yes.
about how many miles do you get per charge? Or have you really figured that out because you charge it every night kind of thing?
Say that again. So like on a full battery, what's like my usual
so
range?
like what's your
So on a full battery, usually, even with other people in the car, I'm usually going back and forth between this all-purpose function and then that eco mode when I'm like going in between appointments.
Sure.
I usually always try to bring it here for people so they get the full extent of everything.
Right.
But I'm still able to get about 310, 315
Nice.
on a full battery. How long you guys been out here?
Oh, let's see. How old are you, Henry?
6.5.
All right, we've been here 6 years.
Sweet, man. You pressing on that silver button?
Push
We're
that.
parked and we're good to go, man. Awesome.
I have some nuggets in the toaster.
Great job.
All right. Thanks. What do you think, bud? Do you like it? Well, dude, I can't wait. I can't wait for the SUV to get here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I can't wait either. I mean, odds are, since you guys are close to the service center, I mean, there's probably a 60-40 shot that it's me bringing it to you. Yes, and I hope that it is, because I've already met you guys.
Yeah.
I've already done that. I've had the opportunity to do that 2 or 3 times already. That's awesome. Just straight.
Cool, man.
Appreciate
Thanks again,
you, man.
brother.
Yeah,
man.
dude, thank
Take
you
care.
for having me.
Absolutely. Well, that was awesome. That was my first mile experience. Couldn't have been better. I love the vehicle. I can't wait for the SUV to get here. That's me. Check it out. See ya.